My name's Connor, and I've got a very exciting guest in the booth, Julie Golob, multi-time national champion, most importantly, Smith Wesson brand ambassador for a very long time.
For a long time.
Welcome.
You're calling me old?
No, absolutely not. I'm calling you a legend.
Oh, I'll
yes.
take it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Great.
How are you?
Very good.
It's been a great show so far.
Yeah, so first SHOT Show for you in a while.
Yes.
About 3 years.
2020, yeah.
Wow.
So pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, so is there anything different this year that you haven't seen in since the last time you were here?
You know, it's funny. I almost have that like newbie SHOT Show, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to SHOT Show thing. Whereas if you've done these things for so many years, my first show was 1999.
99, wow.
So coming onto the show floor and seeing even just the little evolution of booths is really neat to see. And of course, everybody's coming out with new products, and the vibe here is always exciting. So
yeah,
it's neat.
I was reading that it should be a record year for SHOT Show attendees, about 80,000. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, Chad was saying it yesterday when we had it in. So
yeah,
over the past few years after COVID, it kind of has grown back to what it was, I think, before. But,
yeah.
So yeah, first SHOT Show for you in a few years. Do you want to talk about the reason why, or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, in 2019, my daughter was diagnosed with a rare disease, and we started treatments that were pretty aggressive for controlling her immune system. And of course, those things depress the immune system, and we had to take a step back and think about, all right, where are we going to be most exposed? We have to keep her healthy. So I took a significant amount of time off from shows, and even competition. And of course, COVID happened. And yeah, it's just been a while. We're at a place where we feel like things are manageable, and of course, everybody here has been amazing too.
Great.
So it's been wonderful.
Yeah, so you're very involved with a organization called CureJM. I'm going to plug them here because we love CureJM. We love supporting you.
Yeah.
We've made a couple of charitable donations to CureJM in your name.
Yes.
But yeah, I just want to plug CureJM. Do you want to talk about a little bit more about what CureJM does?
Absolutely. So CureJM is a charity that covers myositis diseases for children.
Yeah.
So our daughter has juvenile dermatomyositis. But what they do, I like to tell people that they're small but mighty. They work so hard with doctors and so hard with researchers to try to find ways to come up with better treatment protocols and help these kids, because being so rare, you beg, borrow, and steal from other treatments in hopes that it'll work. But the thing that stands out with me is when we were first diagnosed, you're just overwhelmed with what you read on the internet. It's just like anything else. And so I found this charity, and there was so much information there. And I reached out to them and even connected with them on social media. They're like, what do you need? How can we help
That's
you?
amazing.
And it's not like a blanket charity that you're talking to someone face to face, and the volunteers, they know exactly what you're going through because it was founded by somebody who.
Yeah. So did you get involved with them right in 2019 there?
Not initially.
Okay.
Just like with anything else, it's overwhelming when you find especially when it's your child.
Yeah.
You're just trying to balance the what is the long-term effects, how are we going to treat this, what is our plan, but it wasn't until about a year in that I said, we need to, they're doing so much for us, how can we help?
Yeah.
So being able to raise funds for CureJM and spread awareness, that's the biggest thing. I mean, we don't have an ice bucket challenge like some others, but it's like I said, it's small but mighty and really passionate.
And like I said, we love to support them through you. It's a great organization. I've been in contact with them over there. They are just so happy and welcoming, and it's just great people. So we're really happy to do it.
Well, we're very thankful to have the charity for one, but to have the support from Smith Wesson is incredible. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about. I'm going to change subjects here.
Okay.
That's all right. I'm just going to keep you on schedule. You recently got some shoulder surgery.
I did.
And I want to bug you about it.
Okay.
And I really want to bug you about your training regimen to get back to shooting during the recovery. And I know you're still in recovery, but now that you can kind of use your strong hands, what you have done to stay proficient.
Yeah. Well, if you've ever had shoulder surgery, you know how serious it is. I had a full tear in my rotator cuff and was in a sling for weeks and weeks and weeks. Yeah. You're specifically told not to exercise or move it for a very long time. And so you atrophy, you lose skills. You can deal with brain fog from post-surgery complications. So in order to make sure that I would still be efficient and maintain some sort of shooting skills, even though I couldn't use my strong hand, did a lot of weekend training. I even switched up my concealed carry mode to left-handed carry.
Really?
And being someone who's extremely dominant-handed, like my right hand I did everything with, for having 4 months of focused support hand use and training, this was not fun, but I feel like, oh my gosh, my left side.
It's like a blessing in disguise almost.
It really is. I can do so much more with this hand because it was absolutely
That's
forced
great,
to.
yeah.
And especially from, you don't think about the things that are difficult. Oftentimes with rotator cuff surgery, like, oh, you gotta learn how to brush your teeth. And it's weird.
Really?
Not being able to use the hand that you normally do. But even just learning how to draw and how to shoot one-handed better with a sling, it really helped my shooting. And the biggest thing it gave me was a little bit more empathy.
Really?
Yeah, because, having handled guns since I was 14 and competed, I would be the first person to say, oh, anybody can rack a slide. Anybody can do anything. But I found myself in a position where I couldn't. And so I had to learn what I could do and how to think about these things and understand that not everybody's in the same situation. And obviously we have great tools at Smith Wesson, like the Easy Equalizer. But it's still something that, I
basically
understand.
starting from zero again, right?
Yes.
Empathy with left-handed shooters, you mean, right? Wrong-handed shooters?
Yes, but they get to use their other hand too, so it's not just like they're one-handed.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that you continued to carry every day, even through. That's amazing.
Well, it was even more important because I could potentially be an easy victim.
Yeah.
Because you see me in a sling,
Yeah, that's good for you. That's amazing. So, coming into the new year here. Still on the tail end of recovery, are you going to compete this year?
Oh, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. So I was able to start competing in August of last year.
Great.
It's a very light season, but this will be a full season.
Full season.
So
Great.
Going after it.
So you'll be at the Bianchi Cup?
I will be.
Very good.
I will be. I'm very excited about that. I was surprised that last season I was able to be close to the scores that I used to shoot, which is amazing. I was not expecting that. But this year I'll be able to put in the time. And I still have to be smart about it.
Yep.
It's not I have to think about my range 10 sessions wisely.
And you compete in open division?
Open division.
So you'll be using that tricked out 1911?
That crazy space gun.
That thing's amazing. If you haven't seen Julie's custom Bianchi Cup 1911, it is pretty crazy.
Yeah, every time we share it on social media or CureJM shares it, they're like, what?
People have no idea what it is.
You have a rifle optic on a pistol. Yeah. It's crazy.
Great. Yeah, let's pivot again.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Cody Firearms Museum.
Yes.
So recently you became a board member.
Of the advisory board member.
On the advisory board.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what Cody does, their showroom, what guns they have. Just generally, I don't really know much about Cody, so I'd love to learn from you about what they do.
So if you are a gun enthusiast, sometime in your life you must go to the Cody Firearms Museum. It's located in the Buffalo Bills Center of the West. Mm-hmm. So if you're gonna see Yellowstone, it's right on the way in, and it is an incredible facility of artwork and history, and of course it houses the Cody Firearms Museum, and they have over 7,000 guns there.
So are they come all the way up to modern guns?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
What's unique is they did a total revamp of the museum, and they made an experience that people who know nothing about guns can learn about guns. So as you step in, you can even handle a mock firearms and shoot demonstration stuff. A Gatling gun is there. Everything is all set up. And then they take you through the journey of firearms, starting with the modern things that you would see today. There's a sports shooting display there. I'm in that as well.
I know, you've got your jersey hung up, right? That's amazing.
And a firearm and a piece there. And then you just meander through it. It starts out like you wouldn't think that there would be firearms, but there are. And from really early times, all the way into modern West, and going into everyday guns that you would see here.
Right.
So they have a gun library area. You just walk downstairs, and it's just door pulls, and you just open them up, and they're like, oh, here's like 10 Smith Wesson revolvers from different eras, and it's so neat.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So I heard that they have a volcanic there.
Yes.
We have a very special connection with volcanic at Smith Wesson.
We do.
I've been told it's serial number 8. I'm not sure if it's a large frame or a small frame, but the story with Smith and Wesson. Do you want some history? You probably
Please.
know already, but I'd love for the viewers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Smith and Wesson, when they started in 1854, and it was to produce the volcanic repeating firearm, volcanic lever action.
Right.
And it's a good segue into the new model 1854.
Yes.
But so for the video shoot for the 1854, we got connected with a collector out of San Antonio. Her name's Linwood, and she let us borrow volcanic serial number 5, which is a small frame gun, and a large frame gun, serial number 9. And they're from what volcanic became through a few iterations was Winchester Repeating Arms. So Oliver Winchester was involved with Horace Smith and Daniel Weston in the early days there, and then he went off when Smith & Wesson formed the Smith & Wesson Company to make the Model 1. Oliver Winchester went off and made it into Winchester Repeating Arms. So to get one marked with Smith & Wesson on the barrel is very rare, and to have one that early in the serial number range is just ridiculous.
Yes.
So they are very scary guns to handle. But yeah, so that's really the history of the volcanic. That's why we, this year with the Model 1854, firstly called it the Model 1854,
Yes.
but the reason why we decided it was a good time to release a lever action under the Smith & Wesson name.
It's so neat. It's such a neat story.
Yeah, it's very, very, just titans of industry in 170 years ago who went off and made absolutely gigantic companies.
And ahead of their time in so many ways.
Extremely.
When you look at the old prototypes that you can see at the Cody Firearms Museum for a lot of different stuff, the knowledge and the ideas and the innovation that people were trying to implement with the hardest things to use.
Yes.
Now, obviously, we have stainless steel and polymer and all that good stuff. So it's really neat to see that.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I'm officially jealous.
So yeah, the Model 1854 new for this year, 2024, from
Yes.
Smith & Wesson. I know you don't have your sample yet, but you've been playing around with it here on the show floor. What are your thoughts?
I am so excited. I've always loved lever guns. I don't have that much experience with them. Our family has had them over the years, but I think that what excites me the most is the fact that with the stainless steel version, I can set it up in so many different ways.
Yeah.
If I want to take it hunting, I can put, magnified optic on it. If I just want to have some fun on the range, I can shoot it with irons or the red dot. You can accessorize it any way you want. And for me, the length of pull is always a concern on any rifle, and it's such an easy gun to shoot, to cheat. It's lever action, so it's simple, easy to use, and the action is so smooth.
It's really the standout feature on this gun.
The vast majority of the lever guns that I have experience with have been highly customized cowboy action shooting guns.
Yep.
And they are so fine-tuned. It's like my Bianchi gun. When you use the lever on them, it's finger. They just fly. But this is a beater gun. You can truly do what you want to do with this. And to have that action so smooth right out of the box, that's pretty special.
It's a really good blend of smoothness, but also durability.
Yes.
It is truly like the outdoorsman gun.
Yes.
You could throw it in a lake and it wouldn't rust.
Yep.
It's got that bead finish on it. So when you get yours,
Yes.
what are you going to do with it?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I would love to.
Right.
Yes, I would love to go shoot some hogs to start with. And then, obviously the deer season is closed now, but in the coming months and when the fall hits, I'd love to try it there. And I also want to see how far I can shoot it and just, have some fun stuff and maybe channel my inner cowgirl and, do some splitting some cards or something.
What do you think you can get it to? You think you get it to 200 yards, 250?
Oh, I'm sure. I've shot a shield out to 250, so
You're on an entirely different level.
But I think that's totally possible. But just to give a nod to the Annie Oakley trick shots of the past, I think that would be super fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's coming out in there's 2 guns coming out.
Yes.
So there's the, like we mentioned, the one that we've been talking about, stainless steel.
I need both, by the way.
Bead finish gun, so it's got a matte light finish polymer furniture, and then another gun.
Oh my gosh.
That has a gloss black PVD finish, still stainless steel. Something interesting about the Model 1854 actually is the receiver is forged in-house from stainless steel. So the same forge that does all of our revolvers forges this receiver. I thought that's a pretty cool anecdote.
That's very cool.
But anyway, this limited edition gun, PVD gloss black finish with high-grade walnut stocks and fore ends. It is gorgeous.
The pictures look beautiful, but when you actually handle it, and that finish on the barrel, I mean, it has that classic old bluing look without the pains of bluing.
I thought it was blue.
I know. It's so gorgeous, but it is so durable at the same time. It's absolutely stunning. Yeah.
So that gun's going to be produced in 1,854 units. So extremely limited edition gun.
Yes.
Once it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone.
So make sure to get your hands on it at home if you can.
Yeah.
Bit of a collector's piece there.
It is.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, favorite gun that we've released. I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay.
In 2023.
Yeah.
What was your favorite gun that we came?
I gotta say, Spec Series.
Really?
Oh my gosh. An M&P is an M&P, right? You shoot at so many of them, but I love the color. I know that's crazy, but I've been shooting compensated pistols for a very, very long time, since the 90s. And to have a firearm that is so durable and so reliable, and have it have a compensator that works so well, even in 9mm, it's very, very neat. So just the fact that it does come with a kit with extra magazines, I think it's a screaming deal. Yeah. And it has limited applications for me because I can't compete with it, obviously, for, against highly customized race guns. But the fact that it's out there is a really good option.
Now, would that gun fall in production division?
No, because it is ported. Because you have the compensator.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so you could take that off and run it in.
All day long.
So even a production gun from the factory with the port does not fall in production division.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Because it's an enhancement that doesn't make the level playing field that we're looking for.
How many rounds do you have on your Spec Series?
Oh gosh, I would say probably close to 1,000 already. Great. Yeah, and it runs and runs and runs. The trigger is phenomenal. If you've handled the metal or the competitor, it's very similar to that. And it feels really good in the hand. Right. It's that metal frame M&P. You wouldn't think it would feel differently than a polymer frame gun, but it really does.
Yeah.
Between just the temperature, the coolness of the frame and how it feels, and the little bit, when you grab a polymer frame gun, you feel like you could squeeze it a little bit. It's like
there's a little play in it.
Yes,
right?
Not that I have the grip of like He-Man or Superman, but with that metal, it feels different, and it's really neat to shoot. And it's that little extra balance of where the weight lies. They weigh virtually the same, but that balance in the frame just makes it a different gun to shoot.
Yeah.
And I do like the competitor too, but
it
is very nice. But I have to say that Spec Series is it's a fun gun for me to shoot. Yeah. So I like it a lot.
That's great. It was a good answer.
I'm glad. Seal of approval.
So Julie, Outdoor Stewarts.
Yes.
You recently got involved with that organization.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about it.
I'm very excited about this. I joined their board very recently, so it's fresh, hot off the press. This is an organization that is trying to connect the dots between the hunters, anglers, trappers, and shooters, they call them HATs, the industry, and the community.
Great.
Not a lot of people realize that HATs are the sole reason, and the industry itself, we are having such a resurgence in conservation in the nation, and how much they're spending dollars go towards actual making a difference in the environment. And you don't think about that. You buy a box of ammo, you buy an M&P, whatever. You don't realize that your funds are funding conservation.
Even the fees associated with hunting license and everything like that.
Exactly. And you don't get credit for that.
Right.
And so Outdoor Stewards' mission is to make sure that you realize the important role you play, the important role the industry is playing, and is connecting the dots between all that.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of great programs like fill a bag while you fill your tag.
Yep.
So it's a biodegradable plastic bag. You can shove it in your backpack or when you go to the range. And if you see a piece of trash, just pick it up, And so not only are you funding conservation, you're making a direct impact on the environment as well. They have a come with program. Amazing. Absolutely. There's so many great programs. There's a lot of really great information. If you go to outdoorstewards.org, I believe the website is, Outdoor Stewards of Conservation Foundation, and it's really a fantastic charity. A lot of research being done too. So it's not just talking about it. We're actually finding ways to connect the dots with different groups. We've done Native American studies. It's really neat organization.
It's amazing.
It's
so
fun.
just recently you got involved, right? Maybe just a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Great.
Press release isn't even out yet.
Oh, so you heard it here first. That's amazing. That's really good to hear.
Yeah, it's neat.
They couldn't have a better person on the board.
Oh, well, I appreciate that very much. But it's exciting, and they're making an impact. They're taking first-time hunters out who've never, inner city, or people who have never even held a firearm before. They're letting them have that experience. It's really a unique thing that I feel like if you don't have someone to introduce you to our realm, it makes it challenging. And especially in hunting, because you don't even know where to go, where to start. So by partnering with hunting groups, foundations, state agencies, and also with influencers, it's a really good way to have people learn more and kind of see how things happen.
Thank you for letting us know.
Oh, no, it's great. It's
so, are there any new initiatives that you will be involved with in 2024, or what's your role there? I'd say
as a member of the board, it's to advise and to provide insight and ideas. I mean, obviously they've got great programs already, whether it's an industry-based program or hunting. One of the things that I'm most excited about is, obviously, hunters are very in tune with conservation because they want to preserve that environment so that they can continue to enjoy the outdoors. But there are so many new shooters now, and there's so many active people who are gun enthusiasts and go to the range to be able to share this message and say, hey, thank you. You are a reason. This is, you are doing your part, and you need to be recognized for it. So I'm excited about bringing that component in.
That's great.
So, I like it.
Well, thank you for joining me today. It's always a pleasure.
Yes.